Well, what do the Edmonton Oilers do now? A week after they fired GM Peter Chiarelli, this is still a team that is fighting for a playoff spot. They still got the best player in the world and need to make a lot of changes. I'm here with Scott Stinson, national sports columnist with Post Media News. And Scott, where do you go from here? Is there any way of salvaging this season?
Well, it's so tough for the Oilers, right? Because I think the reason they get rid of Chiarelli is because they don't want him messing it up any further and throwing guys overboard and making desperation deals in the hopes of making the playoffs and saving his job. So I think Keith Gretzky is in there now, partly to just not mess it up any further until they can decide what they want to do with that position for the long term. Obviously, they have a lot of bad contracts. They need serious help up front for Connor McDavid now that they've been without some pretty skilled players that they moved off in the last few years. So I think it's a case of probably they hope that they get some help on their defense back when Klefbom and Sekera come back. They hope that they can start outperforming other teams when Connor McDavid is not on the ice, because as it stands now, they outscore teams by a considerable amount when he's playing, and they get caved in when he's not. So, I think it's a case of what do they do now? Well, they just kind of hope that they can scrape together some wins with what they have, maybe get lucky with a trade or two. But they're probably not going to do anything huge in terms of major roster moves, because I think that's going to come for whoever comes next.
Yeah, and you know what? If you're an Edmonton Oilers fan, it's got to hurt even more, because you look down the road and the Calgary Flames are the hottest team in hockey right now. They have the best record in the Pacific Division. They got the best record in the Western Conference. They're the #1 Canadian team. And, quite possibly as we head into the second half here, they've got the best chance of Canada bringing home that Stanley Cup. And you look at that roster, there's no McDavid, but there are McDavid-like players in Johnny Gaudreau, who is a Hart Trophy candidate, Mark Giordano, who's a Norris Trophy candidate. And you know what? You're talking about depth. I think they've got 4 guys ranked in the top 20 in scoring, whether it's David Rittich or if it's Mike Smith. They're getting the job done in net. Not a whole lot of holes there. So that's got to hurt for Edmonton. And you mentioned what the Edmonton Oilers do now. Is it time to start looking at, moving another young piece? As difficult as that seems, is a guy like Jesse Puljujarvi, who they drafted a few years ago, right before Matthew Tkachuk. Right. Another thing right in the gut there for the Oilers. Is it time to move him and possibly get a guy that can help them right now?
Maybe, except for I'm not sure what you're going to get for him right now, right? You're
selling low on that.
You're selling super low on him. Yeah. A guy that was taken, what was he, 4th overall not long ago, something like that. So you're basically selling him for peanuts. I'm not sure that makes a lot of sense. I think they would rather take sort of the young, skilled offensive talent they have and see if they can get more out of it, add more pieces to it, as opposed to throw him overboard and hope you get some sort of reasonable veteran help.
Well, patience is wearing thin, especially when you're looking down the road, like I said, and the Flames might go all the way to the Stanley Cup final this year. Who knows? You know what? Let us know what you think on Facebook and Twitter, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.